And we're kind of live. Not really. This is the part that will be edited. I love these fig things. They're so good.
I'm glad.
I could eat so many. And I do. I don't know how we have any left.
How many do we have left?
Not many. But still. So you like stuff?
Yeah.
You like community stuff? We've taken creative liberties.
They're here. They're here. You ready? You ready?
Wow.
Building a successful real estate career requires you to adapt, pivot, and constantly master new skills.
We're Katie and Daniel Steinfeld. We've built our own innovative brokerage, and in this podcast, we've assembled actionable tips and strategies that you can implement to take your business to its maximum potential.
It's time to level up. Level up. Level up.
All right, well, we're going to get started. Thanks, everybody. My name is Katie. This is Daniel. And today we are so happy to have the Trentadue Torres with us. We have Sonya and Dolores. And I just wanted I had written down a few stats from your Instagram page, which are super impressive. First of all, #1 team in Stouffville, number 29 out of Remax teams, and number 48 worldwide, which is amazing. Congratulations. And it's funny, when I posted on my stories, a friend of mine, he said, oh, so there's so many people that know you and recognize your name. And it's just been amazing what you guys have built. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us. Honestly, it's amazing to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Well, we love you guys. And I know everybody listening probably has a lot of questions. So if you are in the Facebook group and you want to pop in with a question, we'll be monitoring the chat and we can ask questions live. But we'll get started with questions because we have probably quite a bit, but maybe if you want to just give an introduction for those of people that don't know who you guys are, give you a little introduction about you guys and your team.
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. So I'm Sonya. So I joined Miss Trentadue over here. Probably it's going to be almost about a decade now.
Yeah.
That's coming up. We went to high school together. So fun fact, we've known each other since I think I was 14, you were 15.
Yeah.
And Dolores was licensed right out of high school. We went our separate ways, kind of, sort of, but always kept in contact. And yeah, like I said, the rest is pretty much history.
Well, I was selling properties for your family members.
Yeah.
And I saw her. I'm like, God, I remember the face.
She didn't remember
her
me.
name again.
No.
But
I just had my first daughter, literally 2 weeks. And I put on a couple extra, about 80 pounds.
So she's transferred the pounds to me now. See, that's what's happened.
And I was like, Dolores, oh my God, do you remember me, Sonya? And she's like, yes.
Kind of. What's your name again?
No clue. But that's okay. And then, yeah, got a little bit of that itch. And then after my second daughter, just said, let's do this, because I was watching her on Facebook and I was like, she takes her kids to inspections, and
that was the beginning.
There was no marketing per se, and I was like, I could help her a little bit with that kind of stuff.
Well, I think when you contacted me, so I was in Florida, I have a house in Florida, and we were in the beach, and I had a laptop on and I was doing an offer, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had reached out to me. I'm like, okay, don't do anything, don't sign with
I was going to sign with Century 21,
and I'm like, just wait, let me see what I can do. Maybe you can be my assistant. Yeah, right.
She's gonna do.
When I saw her penmanship, I'm like, oh my gosh, she sucks.
Do you guys want to see it? It's terrible.
No, it's terrible. And then, but yeah, when I saw her actually speaking with the client, I'm like, wow, she's really good. And it was, I guess it just took off after that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make her 50% partner and we're good to go.
Yeah. Instead of it being like the Dolores Trentadue team, which is nothing wrong with that. And, it kind of sort of what happens. And, but yeah, it was just, it was very natural.
Yeah. I believe, what you put out into the world, you get back. Right. And I think that's really what helped.
We just were, it just snowballed.
Yeah.
And
I can tell you one thing that helped this work out for so long and still does to this day is we don't bicker about money. I don't care if it's
Yeah.
$5 more for me or $20 more for her. I don't look at that. I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking, okay,
Right.
what's happening, I'm looking already 5 years out. So my mind is not now, like, don't worry, the money will be made. And
In the beginning, yeah.
yeah, in the
that's how it
beginning,
was,
yeah, it
but
wasn't, we never,
it was always
we never.
very
bickered.
honest
Yeah.
and it still is like, it's, it's obviously it's part of the business and what have you, but and like ego and all these other things, there
Ego,
was none
yeah,
of that. It
no,
was
no.
just always very natural trust. Like if I can't
Mhm.
leave everything with you and you're not going to take care of
Then
it,
forget about
then
it.
yeah. And I think it's a problem. It's a problem for a lot of people to trust within this industry.
Yeah.
And it's so competitive, right? There's this competitiveness, and even a lot of, teams, sometimes that happens too within, each other. And it's always nice, but it was always like, no, Dolores, you're the best. And she's like, no, Sonya, you're the best.
Oh my
No,
God.
she's like,
Yeah.
the Buddha of real
Oh,
estate.
the Buddha.
That didn't sound good. You know what I mean?
Later, yeah.
But it was very comforting from my perspective, because if there was something that I had a question about or something that was, on the way of, going wrong, I always had her, and I
Right.
wanted to do everything. So even
Yeah.
like buyers and all this other stuff, I'm like,
She
no,
was
you
good.
stay
She
at
never
home.
said no, and she never, she had 2 small children at the time.
Mhm.
So did
Yeah.
I, but yours
My
were much,
second.
much smaller. And then, she was
Yeah.
always like, let's
Yeah.
go, right? And that's what took us to the next level. And I
Yeah.
think we door knocked straight for like, what, 18 months?
Yeah.
Wow.
Every
It
other
was like,
day.
we would be door knocking, like frozen face, not frozen, everything's frozen.
Yeah. She made me go when I had fever. This was before COVID.
So-
I had fever. It was
But-
it was my birthday.
But it was, did we not get a list?
February.
We did.
We did. And we were handing out Valentine's Day treats, and I'm like,
Yeah.
here you go. Come to our open house,
Oh,
please.
never mind, we got a listing out of it. But
Oh,
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that we hit it, we hit it
Feed off.
But
so much.
that's how we met people, right?
Yeah.
We met people
Yeah.
constantly. And, I know what, we talk, like I said, I told you, we talk
I
a
love
lot.
that stuff.
And we're
love
here to
that
talk
too.
about community, but it's all unisons, right? It's all
Yeah.
domino and a ripple, right? You throw the rock and.
So
it
that's
ripples.
what I love. I love the prospecting. I know people don't love it, but I did it for 4 years when I was a teenager. That's how I made my money.
Cold
And
calls.
calling and that's what stuff I love to do. So it's my job here is to try and get the team to do what I did. And again, so not so salesy, you don't want someone at the door saying, do you want to sell? Like,
No,
we
no.
didn't even go there. We build trust
Hmm.
first and then we worry about the sale.
And we
Right.
still do that. Like this
still do that,
weekend, like we're prepping right now for the biggest music festival, pretty much like, I don't know.
In
I think-
Canada, I think.
And well, I don't know about Canada.
Well, it's
but at
pretty
least
big. It's like a
Ontario. I don't know.
2-day event where it's back to back, back to back, back to
And
back.
Stouffville at least.
I don't know. Let's hear.
I don't know.
We're between Stouffville and
Region, at
Canada.
least, yeah.
There's over 100, but it's a 2-day festival. Men Without Hats are going to be here. There's like Stars,
Okay.
like literally the band called Stars. So there's going to be all kinds of different musicians from all across Canada. Yes.
See?
Your son is going to be performing.
Yeah.
And
My
yeah,
goodness.
this is a
Nice.
guitar player.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
self-taught guitar player.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, complete opposite
amazing.
of Dolores. Anyways, but you were prepping for that, and yeah, it's going to be like a 2-day festival, and we're presenting sponsors, and it started like really, really small, and then all of a sudden it's just boom,
It's insane
blown
right
up.
now.
Um,
I think the reason why I do it is I love the fact that it supports the restaurants, because every restaurant, every venue has a spot everybody goes to. So it really is, it impacts the community in a positive way. It brings people in. So for me, I love it. I think it's great.
the Stouffville Inn is completely sold
Sold
out.
out, yeah.
Amazing.
Heard.
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And, they're like a circus bus, and, we're having a launch party here. So again, like Dolores said, it's bringing in all these different businesses and
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah,
there's always something to do.
We do a
right?
lot of
Yeah.
events. A lot of events.
yeah. Well, that's it. And you guys, like, I'd love to get into that. Like, just, it's wild to me. And I can't even imagine what your calendar must look like in terms of the
I
events.
don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't even, I can't even grasp that. But when you first started out, like, I know door knocking was, a main focus. When did you start incorporating the events into?
Oh, right away.
Right away. I think it
Right
was
away.
part of that.
Okay.
It was part of the knocking. It was all,
Okay.
again, like,
We
like-
went out with a purpose. Like, it wasn't like, hello,
Yeah.
we went out with a purpose. We would invite people
Mhm.
and then we would get on the phones. So again, I would get on the phones and I would invite the entire community.
Mhm.
So
pumpkin giveaway. We used to
giveaways,
do
yeah.
it, you know,
we used to drop them at their door too. Some people couldn't make it. We would actually physically drop the pumpkins at the door.
my husband had just got a pickup truck and I was like, we'll put all the pumpkins in the pickup truck. It'll be easy.
Oh, my
And
Lord.
then we're driving and then I hear,
Oh,
boom.
no, we heard something. We don't know what that was.
I was like, what is this? I look outside, there's a sea of pumpkins. I forgot to close the lift gate thingy at the back. So we
Minor
were,
detail.
minor
Yeah,
detail. We were
detail.
feeding the squirrels.
Yeah,
It's fine.
They're part of the community too, right? So
That's right. They might buy a
But yes,
house or a
that's
tree.
how it started. Even though we didn't have a spot, we were
Yeah.
going to them. And then now it's consists of family portraits and hot chocolate. And like, I think we had like 300 people in a span of a couple hours.
Yeah.
Because we went through 300 pumpkins.
And then we
so
had a Halloween party right across the street where
that was fun.
we raised money for year friends, like children with disabilities.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that was really a big success. We had,
And it's, again, bringing something fun, a fun element, you know, and it was very adult geared as opposed to just having a lot of the family events, right? But there was always a purpose with that knocking, right?
yeah, and Katie is there. I can hear her on the other side of the wall. She's going through a coughing fit right now, so she's just turned
Okay, no,
off
no,
her
no.
video.
I remember those. I
Yeah.
probably had one about an hour ago.
So yeah, so she's listening.
All
Just,
good, all good,
It's,
all good.
we'll go door. I mean, if we were like you, we'd probably be door knocking like that now too. Anyway.
Yeah.
So where, I mean, I guess it's different for all these different events, but like this one that's about to happen here, the music one, is this one where you just keep an ear to the ground about the things that are happening and you try to align yourself, or do people make you part of the planning process from the get-go because
Yeah.
you've established yourself that way?
Yes,
that's what's
yes. So we
happening.
get, and unfortunately, we can't do everything.
I would be
But
working like every other day in an
but
event.
we get approached for pretty much, and the town of Stouffville as well too, like we're celebration sponsors with them. So as opposed to like big corporate, which they just give money and they're not there. We do celebration sponsorships. So we want to make sure that we're there, we're belly to belly with everyone, that they understand, you know, who we are, that we live here. We're not just, you know, a business that's just going to give money and, you know,
And
not
walk away.
walk
Yeah,
away.
we want to be a part of it. We want to, it's not only a way to meet people, but
Yeah.
you know, to have that almost,
Connection.
yeah, but that relaxation of being able to talk to someone about, just about the event and get them to let them get to know us, right?
But with
But-
Winter in particular, we were with them since the inception.
Right.
And they didn't really know how to start, and, you know, they came to us for help. And a lot of the times, a lot of these events are, you know, they just start and they're like, what do we do now? It's like, okay, well, so we help them with a lot of that. So I sit on the board of directors with the Stouffville Commerce.
With all her free time, right?
Yeah, well, I was vice chair, then chairman, now I'm past chairman, so fun. And up for reelection. Gosh.
You're also future chairman again.
Yeah, apparently.
Future chairman.
It's the
Apparently.
cycle.
It is a site for sure, but it's like, but it's also integrated, right? And again, these are, you know, our Stouffville businesses here are our friends, and we want to see them do well. Like Dolores said,
Yeah.
you know, we want to have a place to order our Greek food, which we just did before we hopped on with you, and the coffee shop to go to, and, you know, redefine design, you know, to go and pick up our little, you know, client gifts. We need these businesses to be there in order for the community to thrive and be successful. So we also have an event that's starting up in February. We do 1 week in February, 1 week in March. Last year we did 4 weeks. The year before that we did 6 weeks. And that was during the COVID time for restaurants, called Full. Get it full of food. I know we're very clever.
Nice.
I think we copied Innisfil. Shh, don't say anything.
We won't tell them.
Exactly. Don't tell them. But we saw that, we're like, that's really
That's
cool,
cute,
right?
yeah.
And we wanted to bring that here.
The
So we're
restaurants need help, and so that's.
gonna have contests, giving out, you know, gift
Okay.
cards and all that fun stuff. And then we asked, you know, the restaurant, you know, maybe throw in like an appetizer or something, or like a specialty cocktail. I like the cocktail idea. Anyways.
Of course you do.
She doesn't drink, and she doesn't like to eat. I do it for both of us. It's fine. But again, we're bringing in a lot of these things that we are passionate about and we do love, and then incorporating it where it doesn't feel like it's so, like, it has to be honest. It has to be done, you know, in a way that it's authentic, right? It doesn't feel salesy and pushy, and that's just not who we are anyway. So I think a lot of realtors, you know, they're trying to invent these concepts and these different things, but it's not natural. You have to do something that you really enjoy and that you love, whether if you have kids or you don't, and all these other things. So again, you cannot just emulate anything that you see out there. It has to come from within you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So when you're at these events, I mean, I'm sure by now, obviously everybody recognizes you and knows what you guys do. How do you kind of fill that gap when you're first starting out? And obviously you don't want to be very salesy, but you do obviously want to make sure people know that you're the go-to for real estate. How did you manage to do that?
So we literally did everything that we could, from, you know, the school little tables, you know, we have festivals here, and I'm sure like most towns, everybody does. So we were just there. We were there, you know, and we still do our walkarounds, we buy the drinks, we do all this other stuff. And it's just, again, just being present. It is. And then, you know,
we did an event like almost, I'm not even kidding when I say probably every weekend. And if it wasn't an event, we would have ice cream trucks come to our
open houses. Those were fun.
And those we did. We would even have ice cream trucks in the middle of the week,
Mhm.
go to a certain park at night,
Mhm.
in a summertime evening, you know, and just give out free ice creams.
We still do it,
We still do it. Yeah,
We still do it.
it was like everything we could possibly think of, we did.
but consistently, right?
It is not cheap. I'm not going to say it's, you know, you have to invest money into it, but I believe what you put in, you get out. And
You have to have that balance.
balance,
So
yeah,
that's why,
yeah.
with knocking and doing all these other things that probably are not the most comfortable. And obviously a lot of things have changed since, you know, we were doing this, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But the concept is still the same, where you're just, again, trying to build that relationship. And if you come with, again, a purpose, and if you do have an open house and you do have an event and you have all these other things, it doesn't have to be your event. You could be advertising the town's movies in the park. You could be, maybe, going out to the local coffee shop and saying, like, can you do $1 off? Make up, your own coupons. We did patio series in Stouffville in the summer.
We did that too, yeah.
And so what they actually did this for us because we've been doing it for so many years. They created little Trentadue Torres Group vouchers. So this is your one free complimentary drink. So it was really cool.
I never had so many friends like I had that night.
I know.
By the way. Dolores,
But-
like, I ran out. Go ask.
So, but again, it is things that
Yeah.
you become known for.
But
Movies in the park, everyone
Everybody
thinks
knows-
we do it.
They think we do it,
It's
but it's the
that
town
does
that does it.
But we're the face there. We set up and we're there every
And I think another
single
great
one.
thing that we did that really was a little bit different than everybody else is we did the drops for the food bank. We did that, a few
Oh, yeah.
years ago. We went door to door, door to door, door to door. Then we would pick them all up with the van, but all of us together.
Yeah.
So it was like oh my God, all
girls-
these agents walking the street, picking up their,
They did it at Christmas,
Yeah.
and they also then
Yeah.
are branching out into their areas. So
doing
Barrie,
each of their areas, yeah.
Uxbridge.
But
so
people
not
love
just
that.
Stouffville.
It was like, okay, you know what? They're not just sales. Like we didn't drop about sales, we dropped about the food bank. We wanted to fill the shelves there, right?
Mhm.
So,
We still do that.
yeah.
There's so many things there to unpack, but obviously consistency, we all push constantly, and that will forever ring true. We're probably going to come back to that throughout this. But another thing you talked about that I think is really important is the fact that you're not doing events, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I misinterpreted, but you're not doing events just to have your logo places, right? Like people aren't getting to know the logo on the wall behind you. They are getting to know that, but they're getting to know you
Mhm.
and what you do. And it's because you're leveraging these touch points to activate and to do things also, like you said, that are in a lot of cases not even real estate related, but reinforce your character, get your
Right.
personality in front of people. And there's such a distinct difference between sponsoring something so that your name's on the wall and sponsoring something so that your name's on the wall, but you're also there and
Right.
connecting with people. It's already said they're voting for you. So
Perfect.
You're building.
It's and you know what, Stouffville is really unique. And it was funny because, we both grew up in like the Scarborough, North York area. And when we first, like I said, joined up, we were selling a lot in Durham, a lot in North Toronto.
Yeah.
And I had this thing in my head. I'm
Well,
like, I didn't want to sell where I lived. And
That's so true. And it's true. That's true.
and once we focused and honed in just the area that I lived in, which was 800 homes in Wheeler's Mill.
Yeah, we kept it tight, right?
And just kept
over
it
and
there.
over and over.
And that's where the kids went, and that's where, daycare and all these other things. Her cousin lived in the area. My friend lived in the area. We had the 2 listings at the same time. And then that's
Do you remember when we used to door knock, and then when they would, because it was hard to get them to open the door in the beginning. So I would
Who are
bring a
you?
gift card. When they would open the door, I'm like, oh my God, you just won. They're like, what did I win? So I'm like, you just won a gift card,
$2 at Tim Hortons. You're welcome.
But they
But they-
loved it, but they remembered us.
They still call us the ladies
Yeah,
with the
it's all
gift cards.
good.
And now they're our friends.
Now they
And
can come to my office and have a cappuccino.
That's right.
So there
That's right. And our office is actually in that same area.
Yeah.
So it's right down the street from,
We have a new office opening soon, so that'll be fun.
Mhm. You guys are going to come to the grand opening, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where's
It's
the
in
new office?
Ballantrae.
It's in Stouffville Ballantrae, so it's
Yeah,
north.
north.
It's just the north.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that
Oh,
far.
that's
It
incredible.
sounds far. It's not far.
Well, this
No,
one,
no.
it'll be nice because it's a nice big piece of property, and we'll be able to host.
To have events.
Outside events. We'll have like an
Wow.
outdoor little
Yeah.
pavilion that we'll be able to do all that, and it'll be nice.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Oh, wow,
Empire.
that's so exciting. Yeah, seriously. So how many people do you have on your team now?
So 14.
14.
14
14
including-
agents.
Yeah,
Okay.
14 agents. So we gained a couple new ones this year.
Mhm.
So that seems to be kind of sort of the element of, it's a hard question because people ask us this all the time. Do you want to continue growing the team? And
Mm.
sometimes we'll say yes, sometimes we say no. We're happy with where we are, but growth is always, it's essential. And now opening up this other office.
Well, it's because we pour a lot of ourselves into the realtor.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure who we have is really as dedicated as we are.
A
'cause
reflection of us when we're not
We
there.
have the staging, which is all, we have an in-house staging, our own stuff.
Mhm.
We have an in-house contractor that takes care of everything.
Mhm.
Everything is in-house, so the realtor doesn't really have to worry about anything.
No.
So
Wow.
it's just, and then we have the marketing department, we have a client care department. So we have everything already set out. And I
Yeah.
think we don't have a very big team, but we run with a team that some people have 70 agents.
That's right.
When you look
Yeah.
at the numbers, our numbers are pretty good compared to
Well,
someone who has.
You mentioned large teams, but
We're
at
not
that
a large
time we were
team, really.
12.
Yeah.
It's a little different scope, the way that, Remax
Right.
calculates all of this. So Dolores is
Right.
absolutely correct. Like when you look at the actual volume of how the
And-
transactions are,
Yeah.
we're pretty tight.
And every
Mm.
realtor on the team, so every listing has a realtor on it. So it's me, Sonya, and then another realtor.
Mhm.
So we
Okay.
always work with that, maybe even a fourth realtor to help with.
Mhm.
Again, I feel the more eyes on it, the more work being done, the better the outcome.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, since we have events, we want to make sure we could have an open house and an event. Right.
Yes.
So a lot of the times
that.
too, we're running multiple different activities. So again, it's all intertwined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I noticed you guys team up, like a lot of your agents, yeah, as you said, like they do team up together. And it's so nice to see them like on video, like getting really excited about a new
And
sale.
this
Or,
is all done like naturally, like
Organically,
yeah.
they connected with each other, and it is nice. And
Well, think about it. One is really focused on getting the home prepped, everything done, and one could be helping prospect for more business.
Mhm.
So, you get so tired focused on that one listing that you're missing out on what could possibly be.
Mhm.
So by having more, it's better, right?
And do the members, I'm assuming the members of your team, I don't know if leverage is the right word, but they take part in all the events you're doing as well, right? Like this is another way for them. Like, is it almost a prerequisite? If you're going to be on this team, you are entrenched in the
yeah.
community.
You know
They-
what?
they
They're all
know.
amazing. They're all,
Yeah.
they're amazing.
And they know
really
what
are.
they're, like
Yeah.
they come to us, right? So they already know what the culture is here and what we do. And a lot of the times, like they want to be that person too, but it is hard to do that on your own. Like I couldn't do this on my own. Dolores couldn't do
Ugh,
this on her
no
own.
way, I'd quit.
And a lot of the agents that we had, originally when a lot of them have been with us like 5-6 years, and they were already 10 years in the industry. So they already knew all of that. So when they came here and they said, like, we don't want to go up against you, we want to be with you. And it made it a lot easier. Like even like for me and Bridget, like our daughters are in the same class together. We know all the same people.
It makes
Like
sense.
it would be crazy. Like they don't want to have to pick. So it makes no sense. Like it's just, you get all of us.
Yeah.
So when you have that type of dynamic, it's a whole different, level of playing field. And that, again, that collaboration and the camaraderie, and you have someone to talk to. It's a
Yeah.
lonely industry out there. And, they're, like I said, you want to be there for certain things. And then, there's not just listings and they're not just events, there's your buyers. We have a lot, we're pretty good. We're like a 60-40 scope. So our buyers are like really important to us. And like people tend to really just talk about selling. No, like this is all real estate, investing, everything, leasing. We love leases, pass them on.
Not to me.
No, not to me either, personally. I'm terrible at
okay.
paperwork.
If it's a lease, it depends who it is.
She's doing her own lease, no problem. Okay, I'm just kidding.
We've got questions here. I'm going to ask you one of the questions.
Sorry, okay, sorry.
Oh, no, hey, no, I don't want to cut you off there because we
No,
could-
no. We'll be here for hours.
Yeah,
Good
go
thing
ahead,
that you
go
just.
ahead.
It's all good. Specific question here. Harvey's asking for thoughts on how she can be creative with daycares and schools specifically.
Mhm.
And I know you said you've been involved.
I
Oh
did
yeah,
not.
hey, the floor is yours.
Okay. So the daycare one, we actually did where we volunteered to pay for, remember the Easter Bunny?
Oh, yeah.
Went to the
we did,
daycare and
that's
put
right.
the eggs around. We had the logo on their stomach and went around, put the eggs everywhere, waved at the kids, took
Took
pictures.
pictures, yeah.
And then they went and they collected all their eggs. So that's one for the daycare.
Yes. And then for the school, because I still do this, and I still even, with the rest of, the team members as well too. Every season, with Halloween, Valentine's Day, Christmas, I always did little baggies.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't afraid, I put a little bit, sticker and a logo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the times, then the parents are like, oh my God, I know who that is. Oh, so that's Juliana's mom. Oh, that's
Right.
Sophia's mom. Like I can tell you from my kids' school, like when, like when they see me in the parking lot and everywhere else, like they're going to ask me. And I tell you, I have an
That's why I
ongoing joke.
hide.
The kids are
Yeah.
like, they're like Juliana, especially like
Yes.
all her friends' parents, all list with me. So
Yeah.
this was something as well too, where again, it was very natural and the kids' birthdays and all these other things. And again, like they feel like
The kids
they-
love it too.
well, they have
Yeah.
somebody, right? Like they don't want to call up a stranger, like, so, we're thinking of this, we're thinking of that. It's that level of trust. But I always did a lot of that cheesy things as people like to refer to it, but it's not. It's not. A little eraser, little hot chocolate packet,
Mhm.
sneak in a business card or a little
The
sticker and
stickers
you're
on
good.
on the bags were
Yeah.
good ideas.
Exactly.
And then we would do those events, remember in the summertime?
Did every school event.
Every school
fall
that was in
markets.
town, we did like a summer, like a blowout. What do you call it? Like a blowout? What do you
So
call it?
whenever they had
Whenever they-
Christmas or fall,
No,
end of
remember when
season.
they finished school, they would
Yeah,
do that.
end of
Yeah,
season.
we
So
did
diff-
end of season. That's
Yeah,
it.
different schools.
Yeah.
So we would have face painters. We were really known for that for a little while.
Oh, the balloon guy.
The
remember?
balloon
Yeah,
guy.
We had a guy for the balloon.
So sometimes like $100, like $150, and you're getting
But the
all those
presents, you
people.
have to be there. So that's the thing with those things, because that's where
Right.
people are chit chatting. Oh my God, how are you? I saw what you're doing and whatever.
I did all the pickups. Now they walk.
That's funny.
You've planted your flag there.
They're,
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
they're older now. It's fine. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. So,
Yeah.
but again, always like I
It's
said,
so
very
true.
natural.
Yeah, no, so smart, honestly, like and as as you're talking, like I'm thinking even with our kids' school, it's the same thing. And like our kids now, it's so funny. We haven't forced them, I swear, but we have on the block hoodies that we made for our agents, and all of our kids wanted one for themselves. So they're constantly going to school with these on the block shirts.
Perfect.
Awesome.
great idea.
So
Exactly.
use your kids.
Right.
Exactly.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Dolores touched on it really quickly as well too. The ice cream truck. So we did end of school, like blowout. And then we had them at like 4 different parks.
Parks, yeah. We went
And it
to
was
all
the last day of
parks.
school.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was
So that's a little bit, maybe $300-400 bucks.
No,
Oh, I don't know.
an hour.
starts to add up. Yeah.
I think it was like, I
80.
think we paid
And
like,
inflation,
I
never
think,
mind.
yeah, probably around 600, but anyways. it's-
Or you can hand out popsicles yourself. It's up to you.
There you go. Just need a
No,
cooler.
I
You're
don't
fine.
know. No, but
Pictures
that's,
of ice cream.
yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah. A sticker.
Yeah,
Exactly,
so that's
with
the-
a sticker.
That's the school
Yeah.
stuff. But the daycare stuff, we can get creative with it. I mean, they love the characters, right? Especially like Easter. So what you do is just call the daycare and just say, look, you know what, want to do something fun for the kids? You
But
know,
the school reached out to you.
they're the ones who reached
They're
out
the
to
reached
me,
yeah.
and they're like, oh, I'm like, okay, I'll do the bunny. Can
Because
I-
they saw our bunny that we had for a contest.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, the bunny thing is like, we get the most entries at Easter for the Easter bunny visits.
So we have a
It's
bit, so
like-
and also we would have them visit, if they won these contests, the Easter bunny would visit their house
Mhm.
with an Easter basket.
Aw,
So
That's so
we've done
fun.
everything and everything. Oh my God, how much money have we spent? Oh.
Talking about money. All about pizza.
Yeah.
It's for the kids.
Whatever.
For the
children,
kids, yeah,
for the
yeah, yeah.
community.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's why people are here, right? I guess
Yeah.
they want to hear, but there's a lot of different,
You don't
different
have to
things.
do it expensive. You really don't. And if you have any
No.
questions, just to us. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm saying this in seriousness, although you might say it's not true. Maybe you'll agree, but like you pretty much have the run of Stouffville right now, as far as like a team brand goes there, and from the outside looking in, definitely. And from that perspective, two things. First of all, when you started, were there established people doing similar things that you've kind of slowly
Nope.
uprooted, or so no is the answer to that. And then now, are you finding that people are trying to like sponsor things, or are you kind of like you've
I think-
really planted your flag there? It's like
I
go
think
somewhere
that
else.
They try, and then this is the thing, we go back to that word consistency.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, I remember a
It's
couple,
being able to do that year over year over year
Well-
over year.
well, I
over
think it
year.
was 5 or 6 years ago. I was a little bit late for registration. So I said, okay, well, we're going to be the sponsor for the parade. And they're like, oh, we already have a presenting sponsor. I'm like, what? Who?
Oh, some known, I don't know. I won't say
Anyways.
no name. but-
Anyways, it was fine. The bad thing was that this is bad. Should I say it? Anyways,
I don't
I
care,
said it
just say
now.
it.
So on their banner, they had a slogan that was actually our website.
Sorry.
I was like,
Oh, well, that's a good thing, though.
okay, go with
ahead.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They didn't do their
Even free
research.
advertising.
On the landing page, and I was like, that didn't go well. But next, we were always there, whether if we were
It
sponsoring
didn't
or
matter.
not.
Again, it's
You
consistency.
gotta be.
If there's one
involved,
tattoo I would get, like
Yeah.
you say all the time, it would be the
It's
word
myself.
consistency.
too.
Yeah.
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 I don't
Do
have
it.
it. They're invisible.
Yeah.
You just need to shine like a black light on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
CNC. But it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
You can't just do
It's
it
so
one,
true.
even 1 year. Like that's not enough.
No, it's
It's
not.
not
Yeah.
enough. And then
Yeah.
it feels like you're trying to sell people, and they don't like that.
Year over year, that's,
Yeah, and yes, and people, to answer your question, they just know that we're there to be there and that we do care, and that there's nothing. I always say, like, we're not just going to be here to sell real estate. Like, we have to do something else. And we have a lot of opinions, and we're vocal as well too.
but I think
So-
also you and I are there. So I'll pinpoint that. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
teams that the leaders aren't there. And I
Right.
believe that when the
Mhm.
leaders are there, it kind of gives that whole, I don't know, I can't explain it. Like it just, oh my God, you're here. I'm like, of course I'm here. I want to be
Where
here.
else am I gonna be?
I'm bored at home.
She's
Yeah.
not
Like,
doing
look,
paperwork.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But I love it. I love just being out there and just, that's what
That's what we enjoy.
that's what we do, right?
And
Yeah.
that cliche saying where, you just want to help people. We just want to help
Mhm.
people. Like I love seeing that, we're, even our other clients that they just sold their townhome and now they're living down the street from where my first house was. And I'm like, you guys are gonna love it here. It's amazing in the park
Yeah.
and this and that. And then they said, and then they're saying, oh my God, you're right. Like everyone's so nice. And there comes like a level of like, at the end of the day, you don't just do this for the money. You have to be doing this for some sort of level of satisfaction in terms of the legacy that you're leaving behind.
It takes time to
And-
it doesn't happen overnight.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we didn't
Yeah.
have any grandeur plans of like, okay, maybe we did. We did want to be number one in Stouffville. We did.
Oh, we didn't think about
we
owning
didn't, we
two-
didn't,
two, you know,
we
two
never
offices
thought
and
that we
all
would
that.
be where we are today.
No
I'm going to
way.
be very honest. So
Yeah.
sometimes we're like, oh my God, this is like, even though we're stressed, we still pinch each other,
Well,
but
because we have fun. Every day we enjoy coming to work.
Hmm.
You know, if I
Yeah.
come to work and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be here. It's not working.
she
out.
comes in, she's like, what are we ordering for food today? I'm like, I don't know. What do you want? But it's a place where, now we get to see a lot of these newer agents as well too. And like, I call
Yeah.
us sandwich realtors because we're in our 40s. And now we're seeing a lot of these younger, you know, the ones in their 20s.
But I love
and 30s,
seeing them
right?
go to the next level, you know, like you see the growth. It's
Like we were one of the
crazy.
first realtors to start doing video. And if you see our first video, it was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Awful. And the background music, everything. But it was like 7 years ago. And like now the evolution
Maybe
of the
more
video.
than 7 years ago.
Yeah. We saw this company doing it. I'm like, oh, wow, I've never heard of that. Let's do this.
Yeah.
We've never been really afraid of all of that. And again, it's nice to see where that has come. Because that's the only way people are going to get to know you, right?
But I have to say, sorry, I know, and then there's probably people watching, and I'm going to tell you, it's great. Videos are wonderful, but guess what? You actually have to meet people. Behind the camera is one thing, but meeting people on a non-selling way and actually getting to know who I am, like that's most important to me. And I think that's
of course.
When they see me in video, they're like, oh my gosh, she's so serious, but I'm not. I'm the most relaxed person you'll ever meet, kind of.
Totally.
So.
Yeah. No, you're so right. Like video can be such a time suck for people, and you start, you know, obsessing about how you look and how your voice is and all of that kind of stuff. So it's tough. So you have to have that balance. You're right. You have to have conversations with real life people.
Pick up the phone, call your clients. Hi, how are you doing? This fear behind the phones. Get up. This is great, but this is only one tool of what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's so true.
So
My old school.
Was there a moment, or have there been moments where you've put some, maybe earlier on, where you've put something out and like you said, it can take, and it does take, a year plus to get things really moving? Were there moments of worry, self-doubt, fear, where you're putting a lot of money out there, you're doing these ideas, it's fun, but the turnstile is not moving as fast as you had thought it would, and you're saying, "Oh shit, is this
happened yesterday?"
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say to all the people
in the corner? It's fine. It's fine.
Well, I think 90% of people, everyone, you're right, it happens to everybody. So it was kind of, I guess it was sort of a BS rhetorical question, because yes, everyone gets a little bit scared by things for sure. But like, how do you
scared? Then you're not doing it right.
Right.
I'm telling you, people, they overanalyze everything. And you said too, like, no, it doesn't, sorry, I hope it wasn't misinterpreted, you know, the video concept, not like the professional stuff. Like, again, you know, we do like, you know, Facebook Live and Instagram Live from like the parades, and like I'm like yelling in the phone, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so much fun. And like those are the ones that we get. I'm like, look, I paid $0 and I got 6,000 views. This one I spent $1,000 and I got 6.
Yeah, I think it's
but you know, it's like
true.
just be who you are.
It's raw, like, you know,
be who you are. But yes, absolutely. So that's why, you know, listen, if nobody shows up to the ice cream event, if like, oh, you know, and you're doing all these other things, but if but again, you have to do that consistently.
I think the only time I was really stressed, and I was calling you about 10 p.m. at night, I remember, was when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I've been in the business a long time. I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen a pandemic before. So I think I stressed you out for like 2 weeks, did I? I would call her at 10 o'clock. I'm like, I think I'm done.
Let's sell unit 2. Let's sell this. I think she did this last month.
Like, no, I didn't say, no, I just said it anyways, but I'm better now. But at the most important thing,
variable rates going up. Run.
No, because I know what happened. So let me go back to what happened. When COVID did hit, I found that people were like, okay, we want the best. We want who's going to give us everything and anything we can to sell this home. And so we got all the calls. It was crazy.
That 2020 was our big, where it was a game changer for us.
And 2008 for me, every time there's a bit of a slump, I do the best. It's like almost, I don't know, even now, like I feel.
So we automated the events. So like, even like we used to do the marketplaces, and that's where the Stofel concept came into it. I'm like, we don't want to stop having our events.
We still did it.
So we did them, you know, we did the 12 days of giveaways. So what do? We called up all the businesses. I know you can't be here for our annual marketplace, but we'll put a bag together. We'll do a contest, and then we'll give it away. And then we didn't know what we were doing. We had like no idea. And then by the end of the 12 days, we had about $12,000 worth of merchandise. This year, it's like, again, insane. We get like 1,000 entries every day.
It takes us a whole day just to put the bags together.
So
Like,
each
it's a
bag will be
crazy
worth
town.
like over $1,000.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and like, we don't even have to ask the businesses anymore. They call like,
They
so are you
call
doing
us,
it
"Are
again?
you
Yeah, we're doing it
yeah."
again. And then we had the in-person one. So it was
Right.
like, you have to evolve. You have to evolve.
But
The
yeah,
doom and
a
gloom of
little bit of fear is
media.
good. A little bit of fear. I'm a very competitive person.
Mhm.
I love competition. So when I see someone else, I'm like, oh yeah, you want to
Look
go?
what they're doing. Screenshot send.
No,
Just
but-
block us from all
No,
social
no,
media.
no, I'm
Block her.
not that bad. I love the thrill of it. I love not knowing. I love it.
Yeah,
And I love the
Yeah.
competition. So bring
that's
it.
amazing.
I love it. I love it. It keeps me young.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
even going back to your other question too, no one was doing these things. And, we had seen other areas. And like I said, when we were selling in Durham and all these other places, and we decided just to really hone in here, and we're like working out of my garage, we said we wanted to bring a concept here that really wasn't really just not done. And we are still to this day, the only team, the only non-brokerage that has their own space within Stouffville. There's All Stars, there's
They're
Century
individual
21,
agents,
but that's
right?
just a
They're-
brokerage.
Right.
We're all
Yeah.
individual. So yes, we are the only one that had our own space because, we don't
don't
want to
like-
work out of Tim Hortons in my garage anymore. We need
Yeah.
to stick to,
Yeah,
collect.
we like our own space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
again,
for sure.
there's different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
But we
Oh,
went
that's
big.
amazing.
We went big.
You did.
Yeah, we just
It's
said,
inspiring.
we're gonna lease the place.
Well,
Forget it. Let's just buy it.
Well, we were looking at leases. I'm like, I'm not spending 12,000 a year back then on this little
Yeah.
tiny place. I'm just gonna buy my own. So then we bought
Like,
Ringwood.
okay.
We started off on Ringwood.
She always wants to buy, and I'm always like, okay.
No, but I always buy when she's not here because then she can't really say anything.
And then my husband has to build it.
So
How does
then
this work?
we bought the
I
first
gotta
unit.
pay. And
We bought the first unit, and actually it was a good thing that she pushed me to buy the second unit next door. So we have a monster building,
Yeah.
but we were able to put our staging here in the back. And then this area here is a conference room where all the agents, and during COVID, this was our savior because our
Yeah.
so big in here, the agents on one side, the clients on the other. So we had.
And we
a
didn't
nice
have to
big
ask for
space. Yeah.
permission
No, we
anywhere.
just
We're
did.
not really good. We used to get shushed a lot at our
Yeah.
old brokerage in our office space.
We're loud and we talk
People
a
are
lot.
complaining about you. I'm like, yeah.
They can join us. I said, join us.
We're Italian
Yeah.
and Portuguese, like the worst kind. Worst.
Hey, speak for yourself.
I know. We're sorry. Question.
No, I love it. I don't know if there's any other questions right now from the group, but I'm just wondering, and I'm conscious of time, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but definitely I'd love to know from each of you, and maybe it's a different answer. Over the years, what has been your favorite event or most memorable event that you did?
Okay,
You go
for me,
first.
it would be Mutt's Masquerade. I love dogs. I'm a big dog person. So I had a big event for dogs.
It
They
was
would dress up.
it was a costume.
It was a costume party for dogs. And then they got judged. And there were, the judges came out and all these people.
So we were
came
the
out.
judges, and we paid for the.
We paid for the
prize.
event, and then
Yeah.
we would have like, we had like other like dog
Mhm.
stores, whatever they called. They would come and they would present, they would, do stuff, but that was my favorite.
Of course.
The Mutt Masquerade, yeah.
You know what? This first year, our Halloween party, that was fun. That was fun.
We had moving mummies, we had
yeah.
Jason, it was. pretty
Yeah, it
cool.
was pretty spectacular, but I think it's probably just good old fashioned movies in the park. We've been doing that for 7
That's your
years.
favorite?
For sure, because for me, like it's right down the street from where I live, and the kids get to participate, and it's nice. We're outdoors.
Yeah, true.
Again, that's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you can see like this works because of how excited you are about this stuff,
Yeah.
right?
You know?
Like you're looking forward to these things the same way the rest of the town is looking forward to these things. It's like they're counting on you to keep delivering, but I don't think
know.
that's why you're not doing it because people are waiting for you. You're doing it because you like it so much and because it is your nature. So, I mean, it's like you said, staying authentic and all that. Like this is really what makes it tick. Is just doing something you enjoy
Yeah.
over and over and over again, and then
Yep.
coming up with things like COVID was I hadn't even thought about that. Like COVID is as impossible as it could be for someone who banks on events and being in front of people. But you know, the fact that that actually became the culmination of your work, where everyone was calling you now saying, okay, sell my house now. You know, it's like,
Exactly.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But not only that, but people didn't want to take listings on. They would actually back off the listing. And then they would call me saying, I bought a house, I need to sell. I'm like, of course I'll take it. You know, I'll put 6 masks on, don't worry, everything will be fine. But
She had a dinosaur costume. She got to wear it a few times. Dino D, stay tuned.
I want to
That's
have
her.
fun. If I can't have fun in my business, I quit.
Yeah,
I
and she
wanna
was the
enjoy-
Grinch at our marketplace.
Oh
Came to
my
steal
God,
all
yeah.
that with Santa Claus.
I was stealing everything.
Yeah,
all
well,
the kids,
we had Santa Claus at our office for so many years, so we
Yeah.
brought Santa Claus to the porch. It was just, again, you cannot stop doing what you're
Just
doing
be
and being
creative.
who you are,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you still, the beat goes on, right? And like everyone's like, oh, stop talking about COVID. Well, again, there's gonna be something else that happens. There's gonna be
Yeah.
something else
Right
that,
now, there's this
you
doom
know,
and gloom of, oh, the
the-
market, oh, the
exactly.
market, oh, stop thinking about it. Just worry about what's
Yeah.
in you at that moment. Do what works.
that's right.
You know,
Everyone's always
stop-
gonna need to buy
Stop
and sell.
reinventing the wheel. I think
Yeah.
that's what I see with all these, sorry to say,
Yeah.
that just newer agents are
Yeah.
trying to reinvent the wheel. No.
Yeah.
Just go back to the basics.
Yeah, and
back to
modern and all these other things. But I
Forget
don't
about it.
understand what that
Just
mean,s
be-
right? Like there's, you sell the
Yeah.
house, you buy the house, okay, it's
And,
finished.
you know, if
Yeah.
you're just starting
it's
out,
about the client. It's
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
people. That's
Person,
like,
yeah.
it's not about you. And this is the whole thing that I think our industry is losing
I,
so much, that it's about themselves and
yeah,
and
totally.
no bash.
Yeah.
I listen, I watched Selling Sunset too. Like not
I've never seen one episode.
I've watched it for
I love
both
it.
of
Can't
us.
do it.
it's true.
It's not our reality here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And people aren't
Yeah.
gonna buy that. And even what they do in Toronto per se may not
It's different
necessarily
to
be
Stoughton.
what
Yeah.
they're gonna do here. So you really have to know. You really have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that comes from the back end of it, from the transactional, details, the law stuff, everything that goes hand in hand. Yes, of course, marketing and social media and
Yeah,
all
but
that fun
I do
stuff.
believe that,
But be here,
Yeah.
be here.
I do
all
believe that the
together.
future is going to be teams, because we're all
Mm.
collaborating. We had all of our senior agents here talking
Mhm.
about where the marketing is headed, where, the new branding, everything, so I
Yeah.
think that is important, like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're gonna have to, give up your commissions, or they're gonna give up commissions, doesn't matter. But in
Mhm.
the end, for the betterment of you and your business and having a longevity in this industry.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So many people feel alone on an island
Yeah.
working
Oh.
and not
It is
feeling like they
alone.
can ask anybody for advice or anything like that. Like, it's the worst feeling. So
It is.
yeah, to surround yourself with people that are like-minded is so important. And yeah, it's honestly
Not like-minded. You don't all have to be the same, right? Like, this is
Right, yeah.
something that I like as well too, is, sometimes I learn things. Like, so I said that sandwich time, where I'm learning all these new things as well too, from people
Right.
that are completely opposite to who and what we do. And again, it's
To be-
just a respect.
To be honest with you, I think, teams collaborating from different areas,
Mhm.
that's very important. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen enough. It's almost like this wall that's put up, and it's not good. Like,
I think I told Katie
Yeah,
that this
it's
first
very-
time when
yeah,
I
yeah.
came on with
Yeah.
you guys, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
we need that.
and what you guys are doing, you,
I
Katie,
love it. You guys
honestly,
are the best. love you.
kudos to you, because that's what the industry needs, and the industry needs
Yeah.
that. Virginia Munden, she's another one that does it.
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
good. You know,
Yeah.
she's
definitely.
getting the agents to come together, put aside everything else.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
the ones that will do well will do even better
Mhm.
collaborating.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Well, come
There's
visit-
so much out
you
there.
Come visit
Sure.
us.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
deal.
yeah. Both offices. We're gonna do a tour.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Exactly.
Oh, I got the best cappuccino machine here, eh?
Yeah.
Look
I don't know
out.
how to use it, but it's fine.
I love it.
I'll help you. I'll help you.
Which
Yeah.
office is closer to City Hall for when you're pulling the big mayoral run?
Yeah. It's actually walking distance here. Thank you for
Oh.
asking.
Well, then.
Oh, I could use a campaign manager, so I will be calling you.
There you go.
I love it. Can't wait.
Awesome. No,
Can't
thank you
wait.
guys so
Thank you,
much for
guys.
having us as well too. I hope that, somebody had something to take away from all of our nattering.
Yeah.
So,
But
oh
like-
my God, so much. If anybody's like me right now, my brain, my mind is just racing with, yeah.
Message
For
us.
you, anything. We'll take
Yeah.
you for
You guys
lunch.
are incredible.
You guys come.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy
Awesome.
New Year to everybody. Have
Yeah,
a
Happy New Year.
stellar 2023. And I hope to see you both hopefully soon.
Yes. Sounds
Thanks
good.
so much.
All right.
Right.
Thanks,
Take care,
ladies.
guys.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Level up. level up, level up.